What's up, guys? It's me, Prime Force 1, aka Prime Force for short.
And I am his co-host NickCat10.
Now, I decided to make a second part of the previous one since a lot of people were requesting to do a part two of this. So, Nick, care to explain?
Uh, well, two things. First off, we're sorry we didn't do any gaming streams or anything yesterday. We were just really tired. Just didn't feel like doing it. We're only human people. Secondly, while we are planning out our next streams and stuff for this week and stuff for the podcast. By the way, if you need to know our streaming schedule, be sure to check out the community tabs as always. Um, at least he brought attention to Prime here. Certain topics that we forgot to mention in our last part, so we just want to make a quick part two follow up and stuff. Now, I know that we said that we were gonna do like a Transformers stream and stuff, but we're actually gonna delay that into Wednesday because uh we thought it would be better to do it, space it out more instead of doing two podcasts back to back. So the Transformers stream is gonna take place Wednesday instead of today. So we're sorry if you were looking forward to that.
Yeah. Now, Nick, let's summarize this whole thing. This whole thing, since I'm basically, I can't. I try my best to explain some
Yes.
things to get to point out all the
Yes.
time. But how about
First,
you
yeah,
explain?
what's it called? Why don't first we why don't you first recap what we talked about last time? Why don't you first brought up what we talked about last time?
We talked. Well, me and Nick actually talked about like why the whole thing about parents looking after their kids, like of what they watch on like what media they watch online. Should they be aware of and be careful about? We
Yeah,
mentioned all the stuff that was not for kids and all that, and people understood.
yeah. Keep them
And
busy, Prime. I gotta switch to my phone so you can eat. I'll be right back.
you know what? Uh, Like I'll continue talking about this because I have to wait for Nick.
All right, I'm back. Sorry. Apologies for the mic switch. I forgot what's it called. Completely forgot my dinner was ready. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Okay. But anyways, we were talking about like the stuff in the previous part about you know what since when you guys were there during that time. And
Yes.
what we forgot to mention after we end the stream, Nick will basically explain here.
Um. Sorry. Oh. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Have food in my mouth. Let's see. I was talking to Prime about some things that we missed on the last part. Firstly, I know we brought up Roblox already, but there's some things about Roblox we forgot to bring up. Firstly, certain maps
like certain content maps that people can play on are containing content displaying inappropriate like graphics or like references to certain things I can't say out loud. But if you're an adult, you get what I mean. And also, secondly, kids are now being encouraged to um, customize their characters in ways that are like, let's just say, how can I say this in a PG-13 way? Um,
Take your time.
they're basically adjusting their characters in Roblox to almost look more adult like in a way and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Hmm.
just spreading awareness about the harsh reality and the dark side.
Hmm.
Why do you think we don't play Roblox? Why do you think we don't play it? Why?
Yeah, there's a reason why, guys, we stopped playing Roblox on stream for now at least. There's a reason why we stopped doing it because of this kind of thing.
Nowadays, I feel like deleting Roblox on both my phone and PlayStation.
Yeah, whole thing's ridiculous.
Now, those older games we didn't mention for earlier. The games that are not for kids are basically the following: Doki Doki Literature Club, for example.
Yes, big one there.
Yeah, big one. Because last year, I believe, no. It was back in 2019. I was in middle school at the time, and I saw people. I saw like a group of people because like during in 2019, I was in middle school. Like this was a how I can say this is before I joined YouTube back in 2020. I've seen a lot of people dressed up as Doki Doki Literature Club characters, and
Hmm.
I was like, oh, and then guess what? I literally was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, guys. It's bad.
Try to explain of why Doki Doki is not for kids.
Um, basically, and to say in a way that won't offend or trigger PTSD for people. On the outside, the appearance, it looks like an innocent dating simulator, but in reality, it's actually a game to spread awareness of certain mental issues and stuff. And unfortunately, people don't take mental issues seriously and stuff. Like, especially kids. No offense, but like kids do not understand mental issues that well yeah, at a young age. They don't understand. They may see something and think it's funny, but in reality, it's serious. You know, mental issues are something serious. It should not be laughed or joked about.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Yes, what Nick said is actually true. Now, there's other games we didn't mention earlier. I mean, we mentioned the games in the we mentioned some stuff in the previous stream, but there's other stuff that we forgot to mention. It's basically kids that keep saying these weird ass words.
Oh
Like
my
what
gosh, yeah.
Nick told me like off screen before we started the stream that
That I'm
stuff.
constantly hearing kids, regardless if I'm at work or just like out in public, constantly repeating "skibbity toilet" or "what the sigma." Everywhere I go, I keep hearing kids say that. Like I said, not just at work, but in public. I just say one thing and they're like, "What the sigma?" And I just like cringe inside. I'm like, "What is these kids watching?" Like back in the day, when I needed something funny to watch, I just watched Minecraft, Dan TDM, or like just Pokemon. I don't know, or just playthroughs of games. Like
Yeah,
I didn't watch any of this cringy stuff.
and back in my day, I myself watch old stuff, like stuff from the past. Like I watched Transformers Prime, for example. I played Transformers War and Fall of Cybertron. Heck, I even and also the person who I looked up to was John Cena. I even can watch Raw and SmackDown and also NXT every Friday, every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But now
Got
looking at And now looking at these new generation of kids, I was like, wow, what is going on right now?
It is sad. It is very sad.
Yeah, very sad, man. I always like see I always see like what will like the what will like modern and like what will kids in like in modern days will look like, but I guess I pictured that, but I guess I was wrong about me picturing that like modern kids, like our next generation, the next generation being just like the old generation. I was wrong about that.
And obviously, we know. Obviously, um, sorry, I had a piece of bread in my mouth. Obviously, we're not parents here. We're not old enough to be parents yet. Obviously, but like, and we obviously have no right to tell people how they should parent their kids. But at least the least we can do is just spread awareness and let parents know, or just people in general, like, hey, if you have any kids that just watches YouTube on their own, or just in general, just be aware of what they might be watching, because you don't want your kid in school saying these words and getting in trouble. And yeah.
I may not be a parent, but I'm an older brother of three. No, not an older brother of three, an older brother of four,
And also an older cousin.
and an older cousin of and also an older cousin of four as well. Again, I may not be a parent myself. I might not be a parent. I may not be a parent, and I may not, and I'm not, and heck, I'm not ready to be a parent in the future. But I'm still an older brother of four, and also an older cousin of four as well.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Yeah.
And I try my very best to look after them.
He does a spoiler. He does a good job.
You guys may not see it in a way. You guys may again you may not see it in a way, but in reality, once you see it in a once you see it, you'll understand why I look after them.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I basically try my best to look after them, even when my parents aren't home. I look after them.
Mm-hmm.
I try my very best to be a good older brother and a good cousin.
Now, these whole video brain rot, whatever thing you want to call it, it's gonna depend to be different no matter where you are. Like, certain countries don't have certain content blocked and stuff. Certain countries don't and stuff. Like, you know, so it depends on honestly where you are and the culture around those, well, kind of content and stuff. You know.
Yeah. Again, as again, I keep those type of stuff away from from my siblings and also my four cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to make them be like how I used to how I was back then.
And also, a little fun fact, not to get too personal, but I will say this. Whenever Prime and I talk off screen together and stuff on calls, I'm always warning him, like, hey, make sure your cousins don't see this. Make sure your cousins don't see that. Because even though Prime is good at keeping his cousins and stuff safe from this kind of content, unfortunately, we're busy and stuff, and we don't have time to look up all the latest trends and stuff. So sometimes helping each other out can stuff like this. Like he didn't even know like the Sigma and the Skibbity stuff being mentioned was even going on still. He thought that stuff ended a long time ago. But I was like, no, it's
Yeah,
still
I thought
going
it
on,
ended.
man.
I thought it ended. Yeah,
Nah,
exactly. I
man,
thought it
it's going
ended.
on. It's going on still. Now they're making marketing out of it. There's really Skibbity toilet freaking blind bag toys now.
Yeah, I keep them. I basically keep it to myself and never basically tell my cousins about it because again, I want them. I don't want them becoming like I don't want them becoming about like the generation that I thought was gonna be like the old generation. But again, it turned out that I was wrong.
Yeah.
Us, okay, like for example, me, who as a person who was part of the old generation from back then, I never said none of those stuff. None of those stuff that people that kids said back that the new our new generation is saying. I never said none of that stuff.
We're Gen Zers. If you need to know, we're Gen Zers.
Yeah, we're Gen Zers. I never said none of those stuff. Believe me or not, again, the things that I mentioned that I used to watch back in my day, I played Transformers War for Cybertron and Follow Cybertron. I played old games like Minecraft Story Mode and all of that, and many other old games. Why do you think I played old games from the past? Heck, why do you think I played for games that became completely forgotten?
Yeah,
Because I basically it basically brings back old memories.
exactly.
And why do you think that I watch old shows from the past, like Transformers Prime, for example? Transformers Prime was basically one of my favorite Transformers shows from back then. Until this very day, I enjoy it of what it was.
Hmm.
And why do you think I also watch some good shows like, how can I say this? I'm thinking. Like, I'm trying to think. There's so many good, like Troll Hunters Tales of Arcadia. I know I know that show ended back in 2018, but Troll Hunters Tales of Arcadia was basically one of my favorite Netflix series from during the time.
Also, before people start pointing fingers, we want to make something very clear. We're not trying to milk off or make content out of this whole, as we some people call it, brain rot content on the internet. We're just trying to spread awareness of it and stuff. We're not trying to milk it or whatever you want to call it, just for money and stuff. In fact, for anyone who thinks we're just doing this for money, I'm just gonna let you guys know now. This channel's not monetized, so they even think we're trying to do it for money.
Yeah, don't even think it that way. We're just telling you guys of how we were back in the day. Back how us Gen Zers were back in the day. Again, I already mentioned the whole thing of me playing War for Cybertron, Follow Cybertron, and old games, old and forgotten games like Minecraft Story Mode and all that. Heck, I even used to play Transformers Devastation. Transformers War for Cybertron and Follow Cybertron, and also alongside Transformers Devastation, were my go-to favorite games. Because during that time, I was into the Transformers franchise.
My favorite
And
games back then were like Super Mario Brothers, like Sonic, Ratchet and Clank. Yes, I played Ratchet and Clank when I was 3 years old. Yes, Halo.
and
Yes, I was a badass kid. Yes.
I was also a badass kid back then because I also played some good Ratchet and Clank games. Heck, my dad even got me into the old Ratchet and Clank games.
Well, you
He
never
got me
played them. When did you play the old Ratchet and Clank games? Since when?
since I was in kindergarten.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, my dad has old PS2 and all that.
Did you play it through the original PS2 or the HD collection?
Original PS2. I played all three Ratchet and Clank games for original
Okay,
PS2.
good, because the HD collection sucks.
Also, I even played some other games like PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. That game was also my go-to for the PS3. Even though sadly we never got a sequel to PlayStation All Stars. Well, even though because I've always been hoping that one day they'll make a sequel to PlayStation All Stars, but I guess that never came to be.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Anyways, guys, I think we said all that we had to say. So I think if it's okay with Prime, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. If you haven't yet already, be sure you subscribe to the channel and whatnot. And if you haven't yet already, also when you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified when we go live. We don't go. Our schedule changes a lot here and there, or sometimes we do streams out of nowhere. So, subscribing and ringing the bell is very helpful with knowing our next stream. And once again, our next stream will be this Wednesday, and that will be the Transformers One appreciation stream.
Also, I'm also possibly this week or this Friday or Saturday, I might do a part 3 of it. I might do a part 3 of this.
What, part three? What? How can we make a part three out of this?
But this time it's going to be us explaining of what our generation used to be.
Actually, that
What it
would be
used to
fun.
be. Yeah, explaining of how our generation used to be back then.
But that's gonna be a later time, guys. The next stream is
Right.
going to be about Transformers One. If we had to say that stream we just mentioned might be this Friday or next week. We're not sure. See, it depends on how we feel and stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So all I have to say is I hope you all understand about how we thought this generation, how we thought what would this generation would be like what in our heads back then, because again, I thought this generation was going to be this new generation of the next generation was going to be like the old us, the old generation, but again, I was wrong.
A lot of people from when I was a child, so like a lot of Gen Zers are becoming to that point in the age where they can be like full fledged adults and stuff, or like be responsible enough to raise kids and stuff. So we don't want the older generation, like millennials and whatever you want to call it, before that, thinking that we're raising a bunch of morons and stuff.
Yeah.
We're not trying to
Again,
ruin the society of the Earth, guys. We're not trying to ruin the next generation. Okay. Unfortunately, even though we're all intelligent beings as humans. We all make mistakes. We can't be expected to watch everything that our children do and stuff. You know.
right. Again, as a cousin, and as an older cousin, and of four, and as an older brother of four. I basically try my best. I basically do my best to keep them to watch over them and keep them safe, even when my parents aren't home and all that. Even when my parents aren't home with me and my four siblings, and even when my aunt isn't home with my four cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me or not, call me like a terrible cousin, a terrible older brother, all of that.
But you're not though. But
Yes, I'm not. I'm I basically want my cousins to grow. I want to see my four cousins grow. I want to see my four siblings grow
yes.
to become just like me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I want them to choose their own like they make their own choices and basically choose and basically see what their fates would be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Anyways,
But
before Prime does his outro and stuff, once again, if you haven't yet already, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you know when our next podcasts are and stuff, or just streams in general, or just uploads and stuff. And if you have any suggestions for what we should talk about if we ever make a part three of this, be sure to leave a comment down below if you're interested, and then we'll shout
right,
you out if we like the idea.
right. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the stream. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and all that. And we'll see you guys this Wednesday.
Yeah, it's
Take
Wednesday.
care,
Yeah.
stay together, and to Lola One. Prime Force One out.
Night, buddies. Good night, everyone.